Hello, welcome to this tutorial video. I'm Easy Ozzy. In the last tutorial I did, I'll attach the link of the tutorial in this video. It's a prerequisite to this tutorial. We created a job post for collecting job entries for the job board website, and we created also some custom meta feeds to collect job entry details. So we don't want users to have access to the back end to post a new job. Because of that, we are going to create a front end job submission form that lets users post a new job from the front end. And we are going to do that using the Jet Form Builder. So in the previous video, I already introduced us to all the plugins we'll be using for the job board website. So I'll add a new form on the Jetformbuilder. I'm going to click on add new. So let me open this also on a new tab. Let me click add new. This adding new job from the back end. So whatever we have on the back end, I want it replicated on the front end for users. So this, what we have at the back end is much more like a form, but only accessible. We want that only accessible to an administrative role. So this also is a form, but it's at backend, and that's what we want to do for front end users. So I'm going to name the form post a new job. So I'll leave this hidden feed post ID current post. I'm going to delete this. I'll need the submit button. So now the first feed which we have here is the title. So it's a test feed. So I'm going to add a new feed, look for test feed, insert it. I'm going to add the label job title. Automatically the feed ID is created. So the next one I have here is the job description. So I'm going to add another new feed. This is a WYSIWYG feed. That is what you see is what you get to allow the users to put a job description. So that's set. The next feed we have here is compensation type. This is select feed. So I'm going to look for select. This select feed for Jetformbuilder. So I'm going to say compensation type. Now we want to get our options from Jet Engine Glossary. So the input is going to be glossary. That's where we'll get our options from. And you can see compensation type. So if you're watching this tutorial for the first time, you need to watch the previous tutorial where we talked about glossary when creating the database for the job board website. So we are pulling out our options from the glossary we've created. Now, for the next part, we have explain how personnel will be compensated. So, explain how personnel will be compensated. Now, I want to put that in a conditional block. I'm going to look for conditional block. So, I'm going to add a new field that says test area. Explain compensation. Explain. Let me just say explain how workers will be compensated. So I'll just shorten the ID, and that's good. Then salary or wages. So there's a condition here which we set previously, such that if the compensation type is salary, then we'll have a payment rate, then minimum and maximum amount. But if the choice of the user is, let's say, commission, they see this option to explain the compensation type. That is how the commission will be like. Also, if it's for bonuses, if it's for profit sharing. So we're going to deal with the details of salary or wages. So I'm going to say uh, add payment rate as the next field, and also is going to be in a conditional block. So I'm going to look for select field, and I'll get my options from the glossary, and that's going to be uh, payment rate, payment rate. Now I'm going to add another conditional block. The reason why we are putting this in a conditional block, the conditional block helps us to hide or show a feed if certain conditions are met. So this is another conditional block. I'm going to bring in column into the block, then make it 2. I'm going to add a new field to it, name it a number field. So it's going to be minimum amount, then the other is going to be maximum number field, and this is going to be maximum amount. So this applies only to salary, minimum, maximum amount. So then the other one is going to be a number field as well. Number of personnel needed. So I can just shorten it, number of personnel. So after setting all the fields, we are going to set the conditional block. We're going to set those conditions as they are meant to be. The next field is required qualification, which is going to be checkbox, going to be a checkbox field, and we're going to say required qualification. So we'll get our options from glossary, education, qualification. Then the next one is going to be required skill set. It's going to be a checkbox field as well. Required skill set. We're going to get our options from glossary, employee skills. Then the next one we have is job requirements. Job requirements. So it's going to be a test area field, job requirement. So let's say I'm going to add a description, field description, explain what potential employee is required to have to land the job. So we just say explain in brief what potential employee is required. So now the other field is this not necessary. Years of experience needed is a number field. So I'm going to add it. Years of experience needed. So I created a glossary options for this where they can just select a range of years of experience they have. So I'm going to switch this field from number to a select field. So I can't switch it here. So we'll just delete it entirely. And we'll add a select field. Select field and say years of experience needed. I'm going to shorten it. Get my options from glossary. Years of job experience. Then benefits. We want the potential employee to know the benefits they will be getting. It's going to be a test area field. Work, job benefits. Explain in brief benefits attached to this job. Then we have another test area field, that's work condition. Work condition. Now we have job questions. You can see the questions for potential employee. So uh, we want anyone submitting a job to be able to ask potential employees questions. So it's a repeater feed. We are going to bring in, let me put this first in a conditional block. Then we bring in a repeater feed. Repeater, let me slide this up. See repeater feed. Now we are going to title it job question. Now in the repeater feed area, we are going to add a test feed, and that's going to be we're going to call it a job question title. So job question title. We want the submit button label, that is the add new label, to say add new question. So that's just it. So we add the next field, gender. Which gender is required for the job? It's going to be a radio feed. Gender. We are going to get our options from glossary. Gender. Now the next feed is workplace gallery. So that's going to be a media feed. Work place gallery. So it's a media feed. We want the user access to be any registered user. I'm going to toggle insert attachment. I'm going to toggle insert attachment. Maximum file. Feed value, I want it to be attachment ID. The maximum file should be 10. Maximum file size, I want it to be 15 megabyte. Then allow. The type I want to allow is PNG and JPEG. Only these 5 format for the image. Then I'm going to add the next feed. That's application deadline. That's going to be a date feed. So it's going to be application deadline. So that's just it. Starting from date, we can set it to current date. So we won't be doing that for now. Let's attend to other feed first. The last one is introduction. That's a test feed. Test feed. Introduction video link. So now we've added, let's say, these feeds, but we've not added feeds that has to do with our categories, or let's say taxonomies. Let's say feeds that have to do with job type and job category. So I want this to be immediately after, let's say, they enter job description. So now I'll slide this up and I'm going to, let's say, add column. Use this double column. Add a new field. A new is going to be for that's job type, which is going to be a select feed. Select feed, I'll say job type. So we are getting our options from the terms. That's our taxonomy, and it's going to be job type. Then the next one is job category. Job, that's select feed. Name it job category. It's a term. That's one of our taxonomy. We'll select it, job categories. So now that we've input all the fees that we'll be needing, there are just some few details that we need to check to make sure we have all the required feeds here. You can set some of the feeds to required. Let's say compulsorily, you need users to enter job title, job description. You need them to choose the job type. Then the category is required. Compensation type, you want them to set that as well. You want this to be required if salary is chosen. Now, let's see what this was supposed to be for. That's payment rate. So let's set the feed name, payment rate. So this is required as well. That's if salary is chosen. Now I'm going to leave the rest as optional, but you know what you want to set as required when working on a job board website. Now, I'll set the condition which is needed in this area. Now, we want this to show only if compensation type is not salary. So now I'll click on this conditional block. You can see it shows conditional block, which shows that I've clicked on it. Then you see show current block if, that is, we are editing the conditional. Show if, or let me use hide if, add new condition, select feed, compensation type, operator equals to. So I'll say the value is going to be salary or wages. So let me go to the Jet Engine glossary and make sure I have the right value for it. So these are glossary. I'll click on glossaries. Then I come to compensation type. So this is the value. I'm going to copy it, salary or wages. So the value must be equal to this. So if it is equal to this, it will be hidden. Now, payment rate. This one will only show if salary is chosen. So I'm going to set the conditional block show if, add condition, compensation type, operator equal to salary or wages. I'll update that. Then this condition block will also show as well, show if, add condition, field type, compensation type, operator equal to salary or wages. Now, I'm going to add a new field which I omitted before. It's going to be a test area field, and I'm going to say explain payment rate. Now, this is supposed to be in a conditional block. So let's say in the payment rate, that's this payment rate. Let's say the user select none. Let's say the employer posting the job set it to none. We want the employer to explain the sort of payment rate the potential employee will be getting. So I'm going to put this in a conditional block. I'm going to add conditional block, bring in a column. I want it to be a single column, and I'm going to drag this payment rate. I'm going to drag it and put it into the column. So we have this explain payment rate in a conditional block. So we'll set our condition for this show if, add condition, feed, payment rate, operator equal to none. I'll update that. Then I want this to be hidden if payment rate is set to none. So I'm going to edit the condition here. So you can see add condition. So I'm going to add new condition and say show if, or no, it's going to be hide, Because we've used show if, so we might need to set many conditions here that says if payment rate is equal to, let's say, let's get our options from the glossary, that's per hour. So we're going to set show if all these options is equal to this, paste per hour. Then we're going to add another condition, payment rate equal to per day. Then we're going to add condition, payment rate operator equal to per week. Add condition, payment rate equal to per month. Then add a new condition, equal to one-time payment. So now these are several conditions, and we're going to use the or parameter for in between every one of these conditions. So this is the or operator. So I'm going to add an or operator. So I'm going to slide this up. So if you don't add an or operator, it will make sure it will use an operator of and, which will mean that all these conditions must be met before this feed shows, which is not what we want. So I'm going to add the or operator and move it up. Then add the other one. Let's take it up as well. Add another or operator. So like I said, if we don't add it, the default operator is going to be and. That means all the conditions must be fulfilled before that feed shows. So we have it set, and that's just pretty it. You can see the condition we are trying to mimic on the front end. Let's say commission is chosen. They'll get the feed explain how personnel will be compensated. But if it is salary or wages, you see payment rate. If none is selected, you see explain payment rate of employee. But if they say per day, the minimum and maximum amount is shown. Now that that's set, let's publish to save our progress. Then we'll go to the jet form area, and we're going to set some few things. So the form setting, submit type is Ajax. Validation, we'll leave this as it is. Now the most critical part here is the post submit action. What should happen when a user hits on submit? We want the action, let's say, to send email to the administrator of the site that a new job has been submitted. I'm going to turn off this for now. Then we want the next one to say insert update post. Insert update post. Now we're going to edit this. This is a new post. We want it to be inserted into job listings. That's the post type we created for taking in job entries. Post status, we want it to be set to pending review. Now we're going to map our feeds Post ID, this only needed if we are updating the post, but since this is a new post, we'll leave it as it is. Job title is going to be mapped to post title. Job description, we have a meta feed created. We could have used post content, but I want something I have much control over. I'm going to use post meta, which is this that we have here. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Job description. Job type is a post term we have. So I'm going to select it. Job type. Job category is a post term. I'm going to select it. Job categories. Compensation type is a post meta, which is this. I'm going to copy the ID and paste it here. So make sure you have this open on a new tab so that you can copy the right relevant feed key. If they are not well mapped, it won't insert the details into the proper field at the back end. Explain how workers will be compensated. This also a post meta. I'm going to copy the key, paste it here. Payment rate, post meta. Copy the key, paste it here. Payment rate, explain payment rate. So that's if they set to none. Paste as plain text. Minimum amount, post meta. So that's if minimum amount. Maximum amount. Number of personnel needed. Required qualification, post meta. I'm going to copy this. Required skill set. That's post meta as well. Paste as plain text. Job requirement, post meta. I'll copy the key also. So you can fast forward all this if you know already what to do, because this is pretty plain. We're repeating ourselves. Like, I want this to really show you step by step how I'm doing this without skipping any aspect of this video, so you get all the details needed. Job question, this is a repeater, this post meta. I'll copy this key, job questions, and put it here. So for the job title is also post meta. So it's for the inner aspect of this key. So I'll copy it. Job application question, gender, post meta. I'm going to copy the key. So we almost done. Workplace gallery, deadline, post meta. So we update that. Let's update our changes as well. Now we need to insert this form into a page for users who will post a job. Then we will link it to this button we created on the header. So if you want to know how I created this header, also on this channel I have a video tutorial on how I did this header. Now we're going to create a page and link it to this button so that when we click on post a job, the user gets to the form to post a job from the front end. So here we're going to click on pages, add new page. I'll title it post a new job or post a job. Let me just say post a job. Then we're going to publish this and edit with Elementor. So we're going to bring in a new section layout. It's going to be the single one. Set it to full width. Minimum height is going to be minimum height, and the height is just going to be 200. Then I'll style it, bring in a new image on the background of that section. So it's going to be this image. Now I'm going to set the background overlay, but before that, let me fix this to center. Fixed. No repeat. Display cover. Then background overlay is going to be this color, and opacity I'll put it to 0.65. It's okay. Then I'm going to bring in a title widget, drop it in, centralize it, and I'm going to say post a new I'm going to say post a new job. I'll style it, give it the color white. So post a new job with I'm going to use 600. It's okay. Now update that. Now I'm going to bring in another section. I'll give it a padding of 50 top, 50 bottom. Then I'll look for the jet form. That's the jet form widget. Drag it here. Now choose the form, post a new job form. The submit type is going to be Ajax. Let me update this. Now the form is being pulled out. You can style it as you like. So I'm going to style it. Let's say label typography, say 16, weight 500, color, make it this color, background color, you don't need that, required mark, I set it to red. So let me just type red. So I'll add it as a global color so that when next I want to use it, red. Now what other styling is needed? For the checkbox feed and radio feed, you have vertical, then we have horizontal. So I'm going to set the typography family to Poppins. I'm using Poppins for the site. So have it as Poppins. Then the the color, I want it to be this. Then the border color of the border color, not background color. Border type solid. Border color should be this. So this is the check. If you check, this what we have. So I want, when checked, the background should be this color. So when checked, that should be the background. Now, while that has been set, I want this add new question for the repeater to be a different color. So I go to the repeater feed. Now I look for the add new item button background. Let me use this, or should I try this? Test color white, padding 5. This, the padding here should be 5 or 6. So let me change it, typography, poppins. So I want the text font to be smaller. Then make this 15 left, 15 right. Make this 8 top, 8 bottom. So that's just okay. Now I want this to show only if users are logged in. So only a registered and logged in user will be able to see this form. So I'll edit this section, come to advanced, dynamic visibility. So make sure you have dynamic visibility toggled on your jet engine dashboard. So I just want to show you where to do that. If you don't have it turned on, you can use it. So I'm using dynamic visibility condition. I've toggled it, enabled it. So you see in our jet engine settings area or module area, we have the dynamic visibility we get for sections, which you see is turned on. That's why we have it here. Show if the condition met. What's the condition? If user is logged in. So if user is logged in, this will show. So if user is not logged in, this will not show. Now we want a message for user who is not logged in. So we're going to say, let's say a user want to post a new job, but such a user is not logged in. So I'm going to get an icon from, I'm going to get an icon from flaticon.com. So while working on that, I'm going to centralize this. You have to be logged in to post a new job. Register an account if you don't have one. So this is going to be H5 style, weight, let's use 500. Then the color, I'm going to use red. So I want the red to be a bit dim. Let's say, yeah, something like this. So I'm going to bring in an inner section. So let's just make the whole of this to be 600 in length. I'll bring in a button here for login or sign in. I'm going to say sign in. I'm going to put the link user login. User login. Then copy this button, paste it here. Then this is going to be sign up. Is going to be user. So user registration. I'll style this. I'll give it a background of this color. Over background white, border solid, radius 15. So color on hover, it's going to be this color. So sign in. I want to put an icon there and say key. Then the sign up. Let me copy this style, paste style. Then this is going to be style. Background color here is going to be white. Text color is going to be this color. Then on hover, background color is going to be this. White text color will be white. So on hover. Now for the sign up, I'm going to have an icon of let's say user. Let's just use this one. Sign up. Give the section, let's say, padding of 50 top. Then icon, I'll get an icon and say no access. Search. So I'll bring in an image widget. Centralize it. So I'm going to insert the image. That's the icon. Let me edit it. Let me scale it to, let's say, 100 by 100 scale. Select something like this. Let me give it, let me just leave it like this. Give it dynamic condition, visibility, show if condition met, user not logged in. So this will show if user is not logged in. So I'm going to update this. So let's view this on an incognito window. or copy, new incognito window. Sorry, let me first view the page. View page so that I'll get the right link. Copy. So I'll access the incognito window. Paste and go. So while this is loading, I want to attach the link to this button. So I'm going to go back to my edit with Elementor. So let's view the form. You can see the user needs to sign in or sign up to post a new job. When he is logged in, they will see access to that registration on WordPress using Jetformbuilder. Is going to be part of our archive for this job board website. So I will test the form out in the login area. So I'll visit site. We're going to test out the form and post a new job. So I want to log out here and log in and as an employer. So I'm posting a job as an employer. So let me open the link on new tab and go to post a job. So I'm going to fill in. I've used ChatGPT to generate some dummy post content for the job. So I'm going to fill the details here. I'll copy the job title, that's software engineer. Copy the job description. Then I have is going to be full time. Category is going to be information and technology. By default, the compensation type is set to salary or wages. Payment rate is set to none. So you could see our conditions which we set is working. If payment rate is set to none, they'll have to explain the payment rate the potential employee will be getting. So let's see if other conditions work. If commission is selected, you see explain how workers will be compensated. This is not supposed to show for this. So we'll set the condition to be hidden if this should only apply if it's salary or wages. So that, by the way, I'm going to select salary or wages. Payment rate is going to be per month. Maximum and minimum salary, let's just say, is going to be 50,000. Sorry, let me, I'll be happy if as a developer I get 5,000, 50,000 per month. So let's just say maximum is 7,000 per month. So that's in a year. Minimum is $60,000. Then maximum in a year is going to be 92,000. So number of personnel needed is just the availability space is just 3. Required qualification, I could just say an associate degree, or let's just say professional certificate, vocational training. Requires skill, time management, communication, teamwork, problem solving. We don't need customer information technology. Let's say Python and technical. Let's just say those are web development. Let's just say software development, of course. Let's just say those are the skills required. Job requirement. let's say, let's just copy this for that and paste it. Collaborative and that and that. Experience, let's say 3 to 5 years. Job benefit, let me just generate that content. Include job benefits and working condition. So I'll just copy this for work benefit, paste as plain text. Uh, Work condition, give me some job questions. So let's just copy two and add it here. Then add another question, and let's say, why do you want to how, how do you work, let's say, in a team? So now that's the question. Gender, we want a male for this, or let's say any. Choose workplace gallery. I'm just going to include some random image. Let's say these two. I'm going to pick these two. Open. So if they are not the file format required, it won't upload. So the application deadline is, let's say, uh, November 30th. Then a video. Let's just get let me just go to youtube.com and let's just get a link from my channel. So now we filled all the details needed. We filled all the details needed. So we're going to hit on submit. So as you can see, form successfully submitted. So let's go back to the dashboard and check all the job listing. So you can see software engineer is pending. This is a new job that was submitted. Now you could see there are some fields we didn't add on the form. That's location, then address. So I'm going to include it. You just know how we've been doing it so far. So you can go ahead and add this to your own form. I suppose we have this as a taxonomy. So it's going to be a select field on the form, and you get your options from terms. Why this is a normal test field for job address. I left that out. I'm going to include it later on. So we'll have a more updated form. So I'm going to just go on quick view, or let me hit on edit. Then you see all the details entered, that they were well populated. So these are all the entries. So Give it time to load. So you can see these are all the details we feed, and you can see they are well detailed at the back end. The one of the repeater, and you see all are accounted for as far as they are part of the form field. So I'm going to publish this. Now watch out for my next tutorial on how to create a job post archive page and a job post single page. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do, because you're going to benefit a lot. I'm dropping live tutorials of projects on this channel. So you miss out a lot if you don't subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button. It helps the channel to grow and visible. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you.